Is that on? Yeah, that's better. Okay, don't correct my timings. If you do, I'll waffle and I'll be here all the night. Okay, so hello. I have two sides to my professional career. The first half is I work at a web agency in Cardiff. I'm not going to bore you about websites, so don't worry about that. The second thing I'm going to talk about is based on the events that I run. I've got a little bit off topic, sorry Andy. I started off by running Cardiff Web Scene, which was basically an online community for people with a professional interest in the web to get together. I then met my business partner, Neil Cocker, familiar to Gareth, and we set up Ignite Cardiff. So the Ignite format's very similar to tonight. Speakers have 20 slides that automatically rotate every 15 seconds. Ignite events are held all over the world, but Ignite Cardiff was the first one in the UK, so we're really proud of that. We also went on to run TEDx Cardiff. For those of you not familiar with the TED format, I highly recommend you go onto TED.com and watch some of the talks. They're absolutely astounding. The brief that TED speakers have is it's all about ideas worth spreading and big ideas. They're told to give the talks of their life. And about last year, somebody asked Neil and myself what it was that quantified success for us. Was it about bums on seats or sellout times? And we said no, it was about inspiration. We want every single audience member from every one of our events to leave thinking, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to look into that or I'm going to do something differently. The first talk at our first ever TEDx Cardiff was by a guy called DK. And DK said that inspiration equaled change. So when you're inspired by something, you have a change in emotion, so you think about things differently, or you want to physically go and do something different, so you will go out and you'll try something new. DK's talk was called Inspiration Found, and basically he went out and he asked 100 people between the ages of 1 and 100 what it was that inspired them. And I found the findings from DK's research really interesting, because what it turned out to be was that for the younger members of the people that he'd asked for, they seemed to be more inspired by emotional attributes. So one young girl said that she was inspired by Lady Gaga because she was happy all of the time. And the young boy was inspired by his granddad because he was fun and he let him feed the chickens. And as the candidates got older, they were inspired by more materialistic things. They were inspired by having more money, bigger cars, sexier girlfriends, successful businesses. And so when Andy said to come and talk about the world's great thinkers, I thought, well, why do I want to talk about celebrities? Although, do go and look at Ken Robinson's TED Talk, because it is absolutely fantastic. Surely for gearing towards the younger members of DK's audience, it's more important to look at people that will inspire you closer to home. This is my grandmother. She's 92. She has her own teeth. I'm inspired by her every day. And I sit and I talk to her and she tells me stories of her childhood, and it was only fairly recently that I started actually paying attention and listening to the things that she was telling me rather than thinking, oh, it's just my grandma wittering on about the old days again. But what it turns out is that we come across people every day who just don't listen to the stories that they're being told. They think, well, it doesn't apply to me, it's not relevant, they're talking about something that is never going to apply to me. But if you listen, I think you'll probably find that in every person's story, you'll find something that you can take away from it. Why shoot for the moon if you've got to learn how to fly a spaceship first? The other thing that DK said is with inspiration, if you want to inspire people, you need to either make them think or make someone smile. And I think this is just a fantastic thing to take away. I think if you can do one of those things any part of your life, then you're being inspirational. This is my chicken, Florence. That's not a fake Santa beard, incidentally, that's what she actually looks like, though no chicken's tampered with in these photography. Florence lives in the bottom of my terraced house on Barry Island, largely because I once saw a talk by a guy called Pete Hathaway. Pete is a technician at Cardiff University. This is Pete with his chicken Boomy in the Wales Millennium Centre at one of my events a couple of years ago. Pete did a talk about how it was possible to keep chickens in an urban garden. So I'm a big fan of the good life, and I've always wanted to have chickens, but surely a terraced house on Barry Island, not possible to keep chickens. Florence would beg to differ. It's not always about the destination as well, it's about getting there. And we've heard lots of stories tonight about the history of Barry and about people living their dream and running amazing events. It's not always about the end result. The amount of things that you learn if you keep yourself open to suggestions along the journey is fantastic, and that's what causes a lot of inspiration. This is a woman called Grace Quantock. I met her at TEDx Cardiff and she spoke at Ignite Cardiff recently. Her video's online, I recommend you watch it. I have very little in common with Grace, apart from the fact that I wish I could also wear glittery pink stilettos every day, but unfortunately I just don't think my feet would have me stand up to it. It's quite good to see things from a different perspective. Ben Hyde runs a company in Swansea, and he has a very interesting yes, let's attitude. Ben is strongly of the opinion that if you say no to every opportunity that comes along, how will you ever learn anything? How will you ever have new experiences? So he went a whole year of saying yes, let's to every situation that came along to him. I was thinking back to DK's younger demographic, and I thought, what is it with children that makes them inspired? It comes back to three things, I think. Curiosity, passion, and adventure. When you're younger, these are three big things that will inspire you to want to do things. I have a teenage son. This is him, pouty as usual. And I've watched him grow up from wanting to be a cowboy and through now wanting to be a web designer, which I don't think inspires much curiosity, passion, or adventure, despite working in the industry myself. But my final slide is somebody that he was inspired with, that I was hoping would be able to make it tonight, but I think he's planning his next trip. This is a Barry fireman who recently rode the Atlantic. Now, the thing that really inspired me about John Haskell was the poem that he ended on. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. The dash being the dash between your date of birth and your date of death on your gravestone. And for me, that's something that's really stuck with me. So go out and inspire somebody. Thank you very much.